The stranger who knows me. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead as I blinked away the fog. White ceiling, antiseptic smell, the steady beep of monitors. Hospital. She's awake, a voice said. A nurse with kind eyes appeared above me. Take it. Easy. You've been through quite an ordeal. I tried to speak, but my throat felt like sandpaper. The nurse offered water, which I gratefully accepted. Do you know your name? She asked gently. I searched my mind. Olivia, I said finally. The name felt right, but everything else was blank. Why am I here? Car accident. You suffered a severe concussion. Dr. Patel will explain everything. Later, a doctor with salt and pepper hair explained I had retrograde amnesia. My memories before the accident were compromised, possibly temporarily. How much do I not remember? I asked, panic rising. That varies patient to patient, Dr. Patel replied. What's the last thing you recall? I concentrated until my head throbbed. Nothing specific, just fragments, colors, feelings. The doctor nodded sympathetically. Someone's been waiting to see you. Your husband's been here every day. Husband. The word landed like a stone in still water. I wasn't wearing a ring. Didn't feel married? Before I could protest, the door opened. A tall man with chestnut hair and piercing blue eyes entered. His face brightened at seeing me conscious. Olivia, he breathed, rushing to my bedside. Thank God. I stared at him, searching for any flicker of recognition. Nothing. I'm sorry, I whispered. I don't. Understanding dawned in his eyes. Dr. Patel mentioned this might happen. I'm Julian Westfield. We've been married for 3 years. The nurse and doctor discreetly left us alone. Julian pulled a chair close, careful not to crowd me. You really don't remember me. His voice was soft, controlled, but I detected a tremor of hurt. I'm sorry, I repeated. He pulled out his phone, showed me photos, us on a beach, at a restaurant, in front of what he claimed was our home. A stunning modern house overlooking the ocean. Your favorite food is lemon risotto, he said. You sleep with 2 pillows. You have a tiny birthmark behind your left ear that you call your secret star. He reached for my neck, but stopped when I flinched. Sorry. You always wear this necklace. It was your grandmother's. My hand instinctively touched the silver pendant. At my throat. How did he know? Over the next 2 days, Julian visited regularly, bringing personal items, telling stories of our life together. He ran a pharmaceutical company. We met at a charity gala. He proposed in Kyoto under cherry blossoms. Every detail sounded like someone else's life. On discharge day, Julian arrived with fresh clothes. Ready to go home? Home. The word felt hollow. Is there anyone else? Family? Friends I should contact? A shadow crossed his face. Your parents passed years ago. We were quite private, actually, just us against the world. His smile didn't reach his eyes. As we drove along the coast, I studied Julian's profile. Objectively handsome, polished. Yet something nagged at me. Here we are, he announced as we pulled up to the house from the photos. It was stunning, glass and stone perched on a cliff, waves crashing below. Inside was equally impressive. Minimalist, expensive, cold. Your studio is upstairs, Julian said, watching me carefully. You're a photographer. I wandered the space, touching objects, searching for any emotional connection. In the bedroom, I found a framed photo of us dancing. I looked happy, but the woman in the picture felt like a stranger. It'll come back, Julian assured me, standing in the doorway. And if it doesn't, we'll make new memories. Later, after Julian went to make dinner, I locked myself in the bathroom and stared at my reflection. Who are you? I whispered to the woman in the mirror. And who is he really? Despite the luxury surrounding me, a chill crept up my spine. Something wasn't right, but without my memory, how could I know what or who to trust? Echoes in the walls. 2 weeks passed in Julian's pristine glass house. I spent hours in my photography studio, examining equipment I apparently knew how to use, though the muscle memory felt strangely academic rather than passionate. The walls displayed stunning landscapes and architectural shots credited to me, but I felt no connection to them. Julian was unfailingly attentive, preparing my favorite foods, patiently retelling stories of our life together, never pushing for physical intimacy, a perfect husband to a broken wife. Yet each night, I locked my bedroom door. One morning, while Julian was showering, his phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. A text from someone named Thomas. Is she remembering anything? Bored, getting nervous. When Julian emerged, I casually mentioned I might take a walk. Alone. His smile remained, but something flickered in his eyes. You're still recovering. I'll come with you. I need some air, Julian. Just to the beach and back. After a tense negotiation, he reluctantly agreed, watching from the deck as I descended the private staircase to the shore. The wind whipped my hair as I walked along the deserted beach. Freedom, even temporarily, felt intoxicating. I rounded a bend and nearly collided with a woman walking a golden retriever. Oh, sorry, she stopped mid-sentence, staring at me. Olivia, you're back. The retriever wagged its tail, recognizing me before I could recognize it. I'm sorry, do we know each other? I asked. The woman, early 40s, curly hair fighting against the wind, looked confused. It's Camille. Your neighbor. This is Rusty. You used to bring him treats. The dog nuzzled my hand as if confirming this. I had an accident, I explained. Memory problems. Camille's expression softened. That's awful. How long have you been back? 2 weeks. With my husband Julian, her eyebrows shot up. Husband? Julian Westfield is your husband? Something cold settled in my stomach. We've been married 3 years. Camille hesitated. Olivia, I've lived next door for 5 years. You moved in about 8 months ago alone. I've never seen you with anyone named Julian until recently, when he started coming around. I assumed he was... She trailed off. Before I could process this, a voice called from the cliffs. Julian, waving urgently. I have to go, I said, heart pounding. Please don't mention we spoke. Back at the house, Julian introduced me to his business. Partner Thomas Blackwood, tall, silver-haired, with calculating eyes behind designer glasses. The same Thomas from the text. Remarkable recovery, Thomas said, studying me with unsettling intensity. Julian tells me you're still experiencing total memory loss. Not total, I lied smoothly. Little things are coming back. Thomas and Julian exchanged glances. Like what? Julian asked carefully. Nothing specific, just feelings, sensations. I smiled. The doctor says that's normal. Over dinner, they discussed Westfield Pharmaceuticals, clinical trials, investment rounds, FDA approvals. I noticed how they steered conversation away from specifics when I asked questions. You were never interested in the business side, Julian explained. You preferred your art. After Thomas left, Julian brought me tea. You seemed distracted. Everything okay? Just tired, I said. The tea tasted slightly bitter. That night, I dreamt of a desk covered in papers, a wall of photographs connected by red string and a voice, my voice, saying, they'll kill people if this gets approved. I woke gasping, the dream already fading. Outside my window, a shadow moved across the lawn. Thomas, walking to his car at 3 a.m., speaking intently on his phone. The next morning, Julian announced he needed to go to the office. Emergency with the Somnax trial. Somnax? The word triggered something, a memory or the ghost of one. Our new sleep medication, Julian said casually. Nothing to worry about. Francine will be here if you need anything. Francine, the housekeeper, I'd never seen before today, appeared with a professional smile and watchful eyes. After Julian left, I explored the house, now acutely aware of cameras in every room. One hallway contained a door I hadn't noticed before, locked with a keypad. When Francine stepped outside to take a call, I quickly tried combinations on the keypad. Nothing worked. Later, I found an envelope addressed to Olivia Marsh. Not Olivia. Westfield, hidden in a book in my studio. Inside was a business card. Marcus Bennett, investigative editor, The Tribune. Something clicked in my mind. Not a memory, but a certainty. I wasn't Julian's wife. I was never Julian's wife. And I needed to find out who I really was before it was too late. The hidden room. The business card felt heavy in my pocket as I charted my next move. Marcus Bennett, a name that stirred nothing in my memory yet felt significant. I needed to contact him, but every call from the house phone would be logged, every internet search monitored. During my morning therapy session with Julian, his term for recounting our fabricated history, I casually mentioned wanting to resume photography. "That's wonderful," he said too enthusiastically. "Perhaps around the property first? You're still recovering." Of course, I smiled. "Maybe tomorrow I could go into town, visit that camera shop you mentioned?" After deliberation, Julian agreed. With conditions. Francine would drive me, stay nearby, and I'd be home by noon. That night I feigned a headache and retired early, waiting for the house to quiet. At midnight I crept to the mysterious locked door. The keypad taunted me. What would Julian use as a code? On impulse I tried the date he claimed we married, 0817. Nothing. His birthday, 0425. Nothing. Then I tried the date of my accident. 03. The lock clicked. Heart pounding, I slipped inside, closing the door behind me. Motion-sensing lights revealed a sophisticated office. Nothing like the minimalist aesthetic of the rest of the house. This room felt authentic, used. The walls displayed pharmaceutical patents, company awards, and financial projections. One entire section was dedicated to something called Project Somnax. I approached the desk. The computer would require passwords I didn't have, but the drawers might yield something. The first two contained standard office supplies, but the third was locked. Using a letter opener from the desk, I managed to force it open. Inside lay several passports, all with my photo, each with a different name. Beneath them, a folder labeled Olivia Marsh, Surveillance. The folder contained photos of me, the real me, entering buildings, meeting people, taking notes. Me, outside the Tribune offices. Me, talking to a man who resembled the photo on Marcus Bennett's business card. My hands trembled as I found a notebook hidden beneath false bottom of the drawer. My handwriting filled the pages, investigations into Westfield Pharmaceuticals, clinical trial anomalies, whistleblower testimony. The final entries were frantic. April 29th. Source confirms 12 deaths in trial group. Company covered it up. Need to verify before publishing. May 18th. JW suspects something. Notice someone following me today. May 30th. Evidence secured in safety deposit box. Key with Marcus. If anything happens to me, the last entry stopped mid-sentence, dated 3 days before my accident. I photographed everything with the camera I'd brought, carefully returning items exactly as I found them. As I prepared to leave, voices approached. Julian and Thomas. "She's definitely suspicious," Julian was saying. "The medication doesn't seem to be working as effectively anymore." "We need 3 more weeks," Thomas replied. "Once Somnax gets FDA approval, it won't matter what she remembers. And if she contacts someone before then we implement contingency plan B. The same accident that took her memory can easily take her life." I froze, trapped between the desk and the door. Their footsteps stopped outside. The handle turned. In desperate silence, I slid beneath the desk as the door opened and the lights activated. "I swear I heard something," Julian said, scanning the room. Thomas walked to the desk, standing inches from my hiding place. "Paranoia isn't helpful, Julian. Everything's in place. The board votes on Friday, FDA meets next week, and your wife remains conveniently unable to expose what she discovered. And after approval, Thomas's expensive shoes pivoted. After approval, Olivia Marsh's tragic accident becomes permanent. Now let's finish that scotch. After they left, I remained motionless for 20 minutes before sneaking back to my room, mind racing with terrifying clarity. I wasn't just not Julian's wife. I was the journalist about to expose them. My accident was no accident. Tomorrow's trip to town would be my only chance to escape and to find Marcus Bennett before Julian. And Thomas silenced me permanently. The woman in the mirror. The next morning, I carefully maintained my routine, showing no sign of my midnight discoveries. Julian seemed distracted, mentioning a crucial board meeting before kissing my forehead mechanically. "Enjoy your photography." "Excursion," he said. "Francine will keep you company." Francine drove us into the coastal town in uncomfortable silence. At the camera store, I browsed while formulating a plan. The elderly shop owner handed me a lens to examine. "Bathroom?" I asked Francine, who checked her watch. 5 minutes, she responded, pointing to the rear of the store. In the bathroom, I quickly climbed through the window into an alley. Heart racing, I sprinted several blocks, ducking into a coffee shop. Using a patron's discarded newspaper, I found the Tribune's address and hailed a taxi. "Olivia Marsh," I told the receptionist at the newspaper office. "I need to see Marcus Bennett immediately." Minutes later, a bearded man in his 50s appeared, confusion crossing his face. "Olivia, my God, we thought you were dead." "Not yet," I said, "but we don't have much time." In his cluttered office, I explained everything. My amnesia, Julian's deception, last night's discoveries. "We've been looking for you for months," Marcus said, pulling files from a cabinet. "After you missed our meeting to hand over your evidence, I tried contacting you. Then I heard about your accident and that you'd moved away with your husband." "I was never married to him." "No," Marcus confirmed. "You were investigating him. Westfield Pharmaceuticals' miracle sleep drug Somnax has serious undisclosed side effects. You found whistleblowers who confirmed they falsified trial data, 12 deaths covered up." "I hid evidence somewhere," I said. "My notes mentioned a safety deposit box. You have the key." Marcus unlocked his desk drawer and removed a small key. "You gave me this the day before you disappeared, said it was insurance." I stared at the key, willing it to trigger memories. "Nothing came. We need to access that box," I said. "Today." Marcus hesitated. "Olivia, these people already tried to kill you once. They're powerful, connected, and they're about to get FDA approval for a drug that kills people," I countered. "I'm already dead if I don't stop them." At the bank, my ID raised questions, but Marcus vouched for me as my editor. The manager finally relented, leading us to the vault. The safety deposit box contained a USB drive, lab reports, and a personal voice recorder. Marcus quickly copied everything while I listened to the recordings. My voice documenting meetings with frightened Westfield employees, describing fatal sleep incidents during trials. The final recording made my blood freeze. "Julian knows," my voice whispered. "He found my notes, confronted me tonight, claimed he could explain everything, that the trial issues were being addressed. He's lying. I saw the real reports. If I disappear, it's not an accident. The evidence is all here. Julian Westfield and Thomas Blackwood are willing to kill to get this drug approved. And I'm afraid I'm next." My phone buzzed, a text from Julian. "Where are you? Francine says you disappeared, coming to find you." "We need to get this to the authorities now," I told Marcus, "and I need to remember the rest." As we left the bank, I caught my reflection in the glass door, not the confused woman from the hospital, but someone determined, focused, the real Olivia Marsh staring back. "I know where we need to go," I said suddenly. "There's more evidence at my real home. Marcus drove us to an apartment building across town. The manager recognized me immediately. "Ms. Marsh, you're back. Your rent's been paid through the year, just like you arranged." Inside my apartment, my actual home, memories began flooding back. Photos of my real life covered the walls, friends, family, my journalism awards. A corkboard displayed my Westfield investigation, the same red string connections from my dream. "It's all coming back," I whispered, running my fingers over my notes. I remember now. But before I could explain, the door burst open. Julian stood, and there Thomas beside him, both holding guns. "Hello, Olivia," Julian said coldly. "Time to come home, darling."